Now, let's get analysis. We are now joined via Zoom by political analyst ELVIS MASOGA. ELVIS, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Now, of course, it's the third time that Stan Mathabatha has been elected as chair of the ANC in Limpopo, winning, of course, by a large margin this time around against Dickson Masemola. How likely are we to see sweeping changes in the ANC in that province under Mathabatha again, given just the number of challenges that this party has and continues to have on a national basis?
Yeah, thanks very much, Unati, and my humble greetings to you and all the viewers of SABC News. Let me begin by saying that, the margin of votes between Mathabatha and Dickson Masemola, it speaks to the kind of legacy that he will be leaving behind as the Premier of Limpopo, and again, even as the provincial chairperson of the ANC when he vacated that office. Like, I was explained previously that when we assess his performance, especially as a Premier, there are so many strides and successes that you registered, even some challenges and failures, but it seems the positive contributions far outweigh the challenges and failures. So that's why the absolute majority of delegates at the ANC elective conference at the Ranch Hotel, they decided to vote for him to continue to be the chairperson of the ANC Limpopo. So it speaks to the kind of legacy that he leaves behind. He has done so much phenomenal. Yes, challenges and failures are there, but his successes far outweigh his failures.
Interesting. Now, Mathabatha praised conference goers for a relatively smooth conference, minutes after the announcement. And of course, things could have gone slightly different, after Treasurer General Paul Mashatile, initially before the conference started and voting started, blocked the former provincial treasurer, Danim Caesar, who was nominated for provincial secretary, saying he's unable to contest due to the step-aside resolution of the party. How important a move was this for the party to make?
Yeah, I think, the Limpopo ANC must also give credit, to their provincial chairperson, Chupu Mathabatha, because those who are familiar with him, they'll tell you that he's a naturally humble leader. He's not a factionalist. He has become a glue that, binds all factions in the ANC Limpopo together. That's why it's not even easy to associate him with any faction in the ANC nationally. He's an open door to each and every person in the ANC. So that's why even when it could have been chaotic when the name of Danim Caesar was nominated, it was through his intervention, engaging with, the ANC National Treasurer, Paul Mashatile, to calm the emotions of, the delegates down. So that is the nature of, Chupu Mathabatha, and people who are serving with him, they will tell you that he's open to each and every person, even the rival factions of the ANC Limpopo. When they see him, they see a glue that binds them together. So I'm not surprised when there's a huge margin of victory on his side when he was contesting with Dr. Dickson Masemola, because even though you may find there are two rival factions in the ANC, but when they see Chupu Mathabatha, they see somebody who unites them, they see somebody who doesn't associate with any faction. So that's why every time he contests, he just wins easily. Remember, in the previous elective provincial conference of the ANC, he was nominated unopposed. He never contested with any candidate. So I'm not surprised that even right now, when he contested against Dr. Dickson Masemola, he won with a very landslide victory. So I'm not surprised as an analyst.
ELVIS, of course, my question also leaned very much to the step aside of the ANC. Are you then suggesting that, with Danim Caesar being blocked by the Treasurer General, that in fact it wouldn't have caused a stir within the regional conference because of just the power and the might that Mathabatha holds?
But one thing that I'm quite aware, Unati, is that Danim Caesar, as a seasoned cadre and leader of the ANC, is aware that when the National Executive Committee of the ANC takes a decision, it is binding on all the subordinate structures of the ANC. The decision or resolution of Litule House binds all subordinate structures. I'm referring to provincial executive committees, regional executive committees and branch executive committees, all they must succumb to the instructions from Lithuli House. So I don't think that Denim Caesar at all was trying to protest or challenge that resolution, because every member, every leader of the ANC, they are all aware that the step-aside resolution has been amended, and any person who is facing, a criminal charge, the person is not even allowed to be nominated in any elective conference of the ANC. So I don't think that Denim Caesar was trying to protest, or even his members were trying to cause chaos, because they are aware that when Lithuli House take a decision, it binds all structures of the ANC.
Elvis, let's bring in this question now and just get your views around President Cyril Ramaphosa. Of course, he's known to enjoy the support of both Mathabatha and, in fact, Masemula. And, of course, now that, Stan Mathabatha has again been re-elected, where does this position Cyril Ramaphosa, particularly as we look at the recent charges that have been leveled against him by Arthur Fraser, going into, of course, the elective conference that is coming up in December? Your views and thoughts around what implications, what changes would he now enjoy from this particular region?
Unati, thanks for the question. There are so many spectators and some armchair observers from a distance who are crediting President Cyril Ramaphosa for creating unity in the Limpopo ANC in as far as Ramaphosa's presidential ambitions are concerned. Remember, in the ANC in Limpopo, all rival factions, they support Ramaphosa for second term. And many people are mistakenly crediting Ramaphosa for that. That is not the case. As a political analyst based in Limpopo, I can reassure you that actually the credit goes to the current provincial chairperson of the ANC, Chupu Mathabatha. His humble demeanor, his unifying character has been able to unify the two rival factions in Limpopo to rally behind Ramaphosa. That's why even today, as we are speaking at that ANC Limpopo conference, there are two different slates, but all of them, they support Ramaphosa. And it's not because of Ramaphosa. It is because of this unifying personality and character of Mathabatha to make sure that the rival factions in Limpopo, they join hands and rally behind Ramaphosa. So actually the credit goes to Mathabatha, not necessarily President Ramaphosa.
All right, let's now talk about the role of women in top positions at regional and provincial level. Also, of course, you know that the Johannesburg Regional Conference is going ahead with acting chairperson Eunice Mgcina going up against Dada Morero for the chairperson position. Just how committed is the ANC in this regard? I mean, just recently, Thoko Didiza commending, of course, the ANC in Limpopo for increasing its gender representation when choosing provincial leaders. But is that something that is seen across the board in various provinces?
Yeah, I'm beginning to observe, some positive and inspirational changes in the ANC in as far as gender equity and gender empowerment, are concerned. Because, previously, when it comes to the top executive structures of the ANC, they will be dominated by men, especially as a liberation, movement. And it's a continental trend. You check with the leadership of SWAPO in Namibia, ZANU-PF and ZANU in Zimbabwe, Chamapinzu in Tanzania. So all these liberation movements have got this historic tendency of allowing men to occupy executive positions. But in the ANC, as a liberation movement, you are beginning to see some positive changes. Even as we are speaking about the unfolding conference of the ANC in Limpopo, at least 2 women are forming part of the top 5. And I think other provinces might follow suit. But we must remember one thing. Gender empowerment must always be accompanied by creating a space for women to feel free in politics, because political violence, political assassinations are some of the negative contributing factors that are driving women away from politics. So these other variables must also be addressed before we can talk about gender equity in politics.
ELVIS MASOGA, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Really appreciate your analysis.
Thanks very much, Onati. Thank you so much.